This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got another live stream talking about free agency because your boy got some things coming up when it comes to the draft. And I know we're very interested in the draft because of the 3 first-round picks and all the holes that we could fill. What is going to happen? There's a mystery to the whole draft and what Howie Roseman got planned. Does he use 2? Does he move up? Does he move back? Does he go to year 2023? However, free agency, I'm telling you, the Eagles will participate in. Look at the players on the thumbnail from 3 defensive players that we could look to target, right? We need edge rusher, not only in the draft, but why not get a veteran guy in here, right? Say Brandon Graham never gets back to Brandon Graham that we know. Derek Barnett is most likely gone. Hassan Reddick. Chandler Jones is an older veteran that we could bring in if we have the money, but Hassan Reddick is a veteran that is young. Look at the safety from the Saints, Marcus Williams, a guy. He might cost a couple dollars, but there's a chance we lose not only Anthony Harris, but Ronnie McLeod as well. So if Ronnie McLeod and Anthony Harris peace out, Marcus Williams would be a great player to add, not just him alone, but to mentor whatever young safety comes in here, whether it's Marcus Epps, Kevon Wallace, or a draftee. There's a couple people hitting me up on Twitter talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'm not sure, and I see it in the chat. Minkah Fitzpatrick, he's not a free agent. Minkah Fitzpatrick is not a free agent until 2023. He's under contract with the Steelers this year. Shout out to everybody in the building from iDrip, Eric Gallagher, BLSG, Ghost TG, Ethan, Martin Perez, Sun Says, Bryce Blackwell, Samage 24, Tyler, G Fisher. Like I said, shout out to Notification Gang, but I'm telling you, the Eagles are going to participate in free agency with Brandon Graham coming back. And I know Howie Roseman said he's going to be here, and I want him to be here, right? He's under contract. You don't really got to do anything. But what Brandon Graham are we going to get? We know Derek Barnett's leaving. Like I said, I'm just repeating myself a little bit. So Hassan Reddick, not saying you got to go get Hassan Reddick, but check him out. Marcus Williams, check him out. JC Jackson. First of all, JC Eagle Talk is in the chat. What's going on with you? But JC Jackson, another corner on the market. But let me tell you, 2 people hit me up on Twitter. My phone's not with me right here, but they were like, what do you think about Minkah Fitzpatrick? I'm like, what do you mean? And now I got iDrip talking about Minkah. Tyler, iDrip, I don't know what y'all talking about. Minkah Fitzpatrick is good, but Marcus Williams is going to be a little bit of money, but we need to invest in a safety spot. I want to draft a safety, first of all, right? I want to draft a safety. I don't know what round. I mean, and for some strange reason, and we saw strange things happen, right? Think about CeeDee Lamb falling to 17. CeeDee Lamb was the best wide receiver in that draft. Ruggs went before him. Who was it? Ruggs and Judy. And I'm not saying they ain't good, but they went before CeeDee Lamb. And with the quarterbacks coming out not being that great, I still think Washington and them got to dip in. Washington, Denver. So with offensive tackles, defensive ends, and quarterbacks, who knows if Kyle Hamilton's there. But I think we need to sign some players. If you had to ask me who my top 2 targets would be, not just name-wise, because we're going to talk about all the names, and I want to know what you think as well. But if you ask me, I think you still got to go in and get a piece in the secondary or from the defense. You need a piece on the defense and a piece on the offense from free agency. No ifs, and or buts. That's not even saying if you sign a Ronnie McLeod back for a cheap deal, if you bring back, Greg, I don't know what Greg Ward is. I don't know if he's a free agent or not, but I think you need a wide receiver, veteran, to go with the guys we already have, and if we draft somebody, and same on defense. I'll get a Hassan Reddick, a Marcus Williams. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. What's going on, everybody? Marone Hatcher in the building. JC Eagle Talk. Philly Trez in the building. Philly Trees. What's going on with you? Oh, yeah. Eagles are definitely buyers and free agent. Can't wait. Yeah, I know. I think it's so exciting to be in a draft with 3 first-round picks. Let me just tell you, and don't quote me however many years. I think it's been over 15. I know for a fact it's been 15, but I'm not sure if it's over 20. I think I read that it's been 20 years since a team has had 3 first-round picks. 20 years. I mean, it's exciting. But free agency wasn't that exciting last year, right? We knew we were coming into the offseason with not that much money. We got Eric Wilson. See how that turned out. We got Anthony Harris. Pretty bad in the first half of the season, but then turned it around and did pretty good at the end, right? We also got Steven Nelson, Ryan Kerrigan. So at the end of the day, Ryan Kerrigan pretty much didn't do nothing for us all season. Eric Wilson was actually hindering us. Anthony Harris was that guy who was just steady, right? He wasn't that great. He wasn't that good. He pretty much got what you paid for him. But Steven Nelson, as much as we want to rag on him, think about a guy who handled second corner duties, did pretty good for the majority of the season, and only got paid $3 million. Remember? He wanted $8 million. We snagged him for $3 million. So I think for for what we paid, we got something good out of that. JC Eagle Talk said, let me ask you a question, my guy. All year we've been asking to draft defense. Now all of a sudden I'm hearing offense like center, wide receiver. What is going on? Listen, I do not want a wide receiver in the first round. I don't. If it happens, I'm not, depending on who it is and how he contributes, right? I got a couple people hit me up about the Drake London and the Treylon Burke. And I'm going to look them up, big body receivers. But I got 3 big body receivers, Pauls, on the thumbnail that we can lock up for one of them being a short term if he wants to, or if we want to, and Allen Robinson, but both Chris Godwin and Mike Williams that we can lock up for a long time. Clemson wide receiver. We see what T. Higgins doing. We also know what Mike Williams does. Right? He's a 6'4" wide receiver, had 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. He missed 2 games this season. He played 14 games, or 3 games. He played 14 or 15 games, had 1,146 yards, 9 touchdowns. And I got clips because I'm about to break down some of his catches. Red zone monster, back shoulder monster, 50-50 ball monster. And they're like, yeah, he's 6'4". He don't really got quick feet. My man got people in a spin cycle. One-on-one coverage. They don't want to get physical with a 6'4" guy like Mike Williams, so they play a little bit off. You put him in a spin cycle. To me, Mike Williams is right there for the taking. Gene, what's going on? Philly Mike, I think the Eagles need to use all 3 first-round picks on defense, and I agree. I think 2 of them automatically got to go on defense. And the third one, I'm not opposed to flipping over to 2023 if possible, falling back in the draft, get a first-round pick for next year just in case Jalen Hurts is not who we think he is, right? Some people think they already know he's not the guy. Some people think he is the guy. I think he has upside, but I think he has to really correct some of these deficiencies that we really saw later in the season, right? Good Giants. Good Buccaneers. And of course, young players are going to have up and downs. It is what it is. But his downs are really, really down. And his ups, they're not the highest ups, but I respect it. How about a linebacker? That's the thing. I was looking around and there's a couple linebackers in free agency, but there's not too many names. There's guys, I think I forgot his name, but it's a Miami Dolphin linebacker. Decent, but you're probably taking the same chance you took on an Eric Wilson, right? We went out there and signed Eric Wilson, linebacker, for 1 year. And in free agency, there's not many names. Now, linebacker, we haven't touched in the draft since 1979 or 78, but I think it's now or never for the linebacker position. Are we going to get Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback, with the first pick? I mean, If he ends up being our 19th overall pick, I ain't mad at it. I just started looking film up on him. We need pieces, right? This is the first year of the new regime. Glad we made the playoffs, 9-win team out of 9-8, 17-game season, first time, but we still got some improving to do. Tyler said Gilmore or JC Jackson in free agency would be discussing if we drafted right with it. Yeah, JC Jackson being a guy who I'm looking more towards because of his youth, right? You sign a guy in free agency, you don't want him for just 1 year, right? There's guys out there who are young. The guys on the screen, the thumbnail. I would be super excited to welcome one of the offensive players and one of the defensive players. Let me know. Who are you looking at in free agency? But you got to make sure it's a free agent. You know what I mean? We can't, if you want to talk about people who are under contract, we could do that, but then we got to talk about trading. This is a good one right here. Yo, Mike, what do you think about DJ Chark? He's definitely on my radar in a sense. I believe he's 6'1-ish, 6'2". He got speed. He was a 4'3" guy. He's not he's not going to kill you, with using his body frame and his catch radius. He just got a 40-inch vertical. I like DJ Chark, right? I thought he's a pretty darn good receiver. He's probably cheaper than a Mike Williams, but not by much. Receivers just, their price range has risen in the last couple years, and it is what it is. I will look to try to get one of these guys because I believe they fit the exact XY receiver that we need, right? Chris Godwin, Mike Williams, my favorite, and even Allen Robinson all fit in a role that plays really good next to a Quez Watkins and a Devonta Smith. DJ Chark, though, still has veteran leadership, and he's a baller. So best believe, on the first day, you might see the Mike Williams, the Chris Godwins, and all that, but DJ Chark is still on my mind as well. DJ Chark is 6'4"? I thought he was 6'2". 6'4"? I thought he was 6'2". I know he was bigger, I should say. And I know he ran a 4.3 40, but I ain't know he was 6'4". And again, you don't get that much coverage in Jacksonville, right? And remember when Keelan Cole was pretty good, but DJ Chark, I should say, no matter who the quarterback was, whether it was Minshew, Foles, whoever it has been, what's his name? Trevor Lawrence. Pause. Appreciate it, Brandon. DJ Chark has been a guy who goes under the radar, definitely. Somebody pull up his stats. Again, these are my top guys I've been looking at, and I hear the Chark rumors, right? I seen an article written on it. He's definitely in a range that I will go to, right? We said all this season, at least I said it, that I would like a veteran wide receiver in his room. But I didn't know he was 6'4". I thought he was 6'2". If Jordan Davis falls in the draft, how would you feel about adding another D tackle? I ain't opposed to it. Again, how did we end up winning our championship, right? How do we become a team that never goes through a normal rebuild? We don't rebuild like the Giants, the Washington football team, Miami before, Cleveland, Buffalo, Oakland before they return to Las Vegas. We don't take years. We don't take decades and nickel piece. And nickel pieces, right? We turn it around quickly. And it's because of our offensive defensive line. So whenever you can shore up, right? Landon Dickerson in the second round, panned out. That's a first round talent. We got 2 first round talents in the 2020 draft. So I'm always looking. Bobby Wagner, he's a free agent. Didn't know that. Monroe said it's definitely time to draft a linebacker. Yeah, it is. But see, this is the thing, right? As some people are thinking that the Eagles might go wide receiver in the draft, or they might go this in the draft or this in the draft. Sometimes your draft board switches as soon as you go through free agency, right? Because if Howie Roseman with the extra $12 million in cap, right? When it comes to signing people, Howie Roseman's going to have enough money in the first half of the offseason, and it's going to get even bigger post-June, right? After June, when things get finalized, he's really off the books. This guy gets let go. This guy don't get re-signed back, blah, 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 blah. You're going to be looking at north of 40 million. The Eagles are going to have somewhere between 38 to 47 million dollars, maybe a little more. And we got to sign our draftees, and depending on how many first round picks we take, that all counts. But I'm telling you that the Eagles are going to, I really do believe we're going to make some moves this free agency. Now, if for some reason the Russell Wilson sayers and the Deshaun Watson sayers and Roseman pulls that, well, then that's the move. We're not going to probably target a defensive end veteran or a safety veteran or a linebacker or a wide receiver, but getting a free agent between the ages of 25 and 28 years old, right? If you get a free agent between 25 and 28, it can alter your draft, right? I did a video yesterday talking about Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah, and Bucky Brooks, and they all had us taking a receiver in the first round. Now, some of you guys are down for it, but if we sign Mike Williams, we're not taking a receiver in the first. If we sign Godwin, DJ Chark, Allen Robinson, Michael Gallup, if we sign one of these guys, which is possible, very possible, then we're not taking a wide receiver. You know what I mean? Philly Jackson said a solid edge rusher will do wonders. Facts. And again, I don't want to not go in the draft and get one. I believe so, right? If the kid from Michigan's there, could you imagine getting one of Dean or Lloyd and then get the kid from Michigan? Or Dean or Lloyd and get the kid for Purdue? It'd be a monster. Eagle Uncensored, what's going on with you? Appreciate you for stopping by. Michael H. Eagles need a DT. Listen, the Eagles could use a DT for sure. See, you can't just look at this draft for 2022. You also got to think for the future. And Fletch won't be here past a certain amount of years. However, if we're talking about, it also is how aggressive is Howie Roseman, right? Last year we were asking the questions, not we and as me and you, but the media was, in a sense of, are you drafting for the now or also the now and the future? And he pretty much said the now and the future. I'm not saying we can't come into next year being in contention, because look at the Bengals. The Bengals, and shout out, I forgot who said it in my comment section or said it to me on Twitter. I forgot. Someone said it to me on Twitter. But the Bengals went into the season with upside, but they had no idea they were going to be in the Ace. Well, maybe the Bengal fans did, but the national media, us, we didn't picture the Bengals being in the AFC Championship. Just like that, things can turn around in football. When you have a good organization, which we are classified as that, 14 playoff wins in the last 20 years, since 2000. In the last 21 years, 14 playoffs. That is like the tied for first in the NFC and like third in the NFL. That being said, you can flip the script quickly. Like I said, for the people who weren't in here, we're not the Giants, Washington, Cleveland of the old, Miami, Bills, Oakland. We don't stay down for long. We turn over quickly. We transition fast, and we keep it moving. Monroe said, I don't want OBJ. He's a great talent, but I'm not risking him coming with his tantrums, destroying the locker room. Yeah, I agree. I was listening to LB for a little bit, because LB, when he does lunchtime with the Bullies, I'll be at work and I'll be on lunch. So I'll be checking the landscape, and that's when I do my most, research, or I'll just tune in and hear what he's saying. And I agree with him. OBJ is a guy who can ruin a young quarterback if he starts to struggle, right? The young quarterback feels the pressure, blah, 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 blah. Again, that's not me trying to coddle Jalen Hurts. Again, next year, Jalen Hurts is going to get the fair criticism from me, in a sense of you got to show me something. I hope he does. G. Brown said, I hope we choose Nakobe Dean, linebacker of Georgia. Dude is a beast. Yeah, man, I'm just starting to look at it, right? So I started to watch. Of course, I'm watching a championship game for Nakobe Dean against Alabama. Georgia won, of course. But I'm in the process of doing Nakobe Dean's best game, worst game, some highlights, Because highlights is always going to make you feel good about any player, right? Because it's only their highlights. I want to see a player's worst game and best game to see how he, fares when adversity hits and what he needs to work on and things that he does need to work on. Can he get better, right? Has it been successful from other guys who needed to work on that and things of that sort? So I'm about to have my at least as much in depth as I can get comparison between Devin Lloyd from Utah and Nakobe Dean from Georgia. I'm going to compare them. I'm going to say pros, cons, things that they're great at, things that they got to work on, and my opinion, because the game has changed, right? Everything has changed. And I know the Eagles' foundation is offensive line, defensive line. And I don't think we need to get away from that. I think we need to abide by them rules. That is why for 20 years we've been in competition and always competitive, always relevant when it comes to playoffs. However, linebacker is big once again. They try to shove that position away and said, you know what? If you get a physical safety, right? The safety can play in the box. He can move back. This is a passing league. Once they started claiming passing league, they said, well, linebackers are too slow. You can't have linebackers on wide receivers. You can't have linebackers here, linebackers there. But now the linebackers got bred differently. They're quick. They're fast. They're instinctive. And they also can hit. And they also can fill the gaps. That's why I think it needs to be back. And Howie Roseman watched the Cowboys switch draft position with us and draft Micah Parsons, who will be haunting us. Not saying we should have picked them, but we got to play the Cowboys 2 times a year for the next 8 years of Micah Parsons' career. If Howie Roseman doesn't draft a linebacker now, seeing how depleted we were in the middle of our defense, listen, odds are not good. It's been since 1979, but I think it's pretty good now. But let me know, who are some free agents that you are looking for, right? The Eagles got bread. Name me. Give me the top positions you would want to acquire with free agent. We know what we're going to do in the draft. We'll continue talking about that a little bit, but let me know your free agent pickings. Is there anybody on the thumbnail? Go back out and look at it again. Let me know if there's any player that I'm not even mentioning that you think we could get in free agency. Not saying we still don't draft that position, but there's things we need. Shout out to Skull Cut Sue with the $2 super chat. He said Dean is too small. Let's get Devin Lloyd. Hey, Skull Cut Stu. We about to talk about it, but hey, I understand where you're coming from in the sense of, attributes. There is a size difference in them too. But that will be talked about in my video, but I don't think you could really go wrong necessarily. But I appreciate the super chat, and we definitely going to talk about it. Michael said, I like Lloyd better, maybe even Christian Harris. Somebody told me when I do it to look at Christian Harris too. I'm going Lloyd at 15, Jordan Davis at 16, and Sauce or both at 19. My goodness. Carlos said he likes Mike Williams. You and me both, bro. That's my guy. Philly Tress said free agency, we need a wide receiver, a veteran wide receiver. I agree on that. Is Buda Baker a free agent? Not to my knowledge. I don't believe so. I could pull up the list, too. I should just do that as well. Hold up. We could do that too. We about to pull up the list. Because like I said, somebody was asking me about even earlier in this stream, somebody was like, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Why wouldn't we try to go get Minkah Fitzpatrick? And I'm like, Minkah Fitzpatrick is great and he's young, but he's not a free agent. I mean, this was about free agents. We could talk about trading for a player, but Minkah Fitzpatrick is under contract until 2023. He got one more year with the Steelers. As Eagle Uncensored Podcast just said it. Name brand coming with the Michael Thomas, and this is not a free agent, right? But the New Orleans Saints going through this whole thing with, there's a big reason why, Sean Payton might want to get away from the game. I don't discredit that. But Sean Payton understands that their quarterback position is fuzzy. and they are $70 million over the cap. They got to get rid of people. The New Orleans Saints might really go back through a hefty rebuild, and a guy like Michael Thomas, who's making $19.6 million a year, he has a 5-year, $96 million contract. Let me repeat it again. 5-year, $96 million contract. I'm not sure how much is guaranteed, but he's up for trade. He could be up for trade because you don't know what the Saints are going to do. But if there was one person you asked me that I want from the Saints who's young and can grow with the Eagles, that's Marshawn Lattimore. I want that boy. I want that dude. D-Train said Lloyd used to be a wide receiver, so I kind of like his firsthand knowledge when it covering concerns. That's big. Brandon said trade Rager for a Big Mac meal. I'll take it. 2 for $1, right? Imagine Minkah Fitzpatrick and Devin Lloyd. We would have to trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick, though. Minkah Fitzpatrick, again, when the Steelers traded for him, it was a good deal in the sense that Minkah Fitzpatrick was young. Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Steelers cap each year was only like $3 mil. This is his biggest year being a cap hit, right? It's $10 million to the cap, but Minkah Fitzpatrick is not a free agent. You would have to trade. And to get a guy that caliber, you'd probably have to give up a first-round pick and then pay the guy $10 million this year. And then next year, he's on a new deal. So if we're talking about trading for people, like Name Brand talked about trading for Michael Thomas, I don't know why we think he's a free agent. Sloppy Joe Sloppy Show. Hey, it's been a long time. Fitz is a free agent. He'll never play for a team not named the Cards, but it's my dream for him to come and teach the veteran tricks to the young guys. Are you talking about Fitz and like Minkah Fitzpatrick, or Fitz or the quarterback Fitzpatrick, or Larry Fitz? We're talking about Larry Fitzgerald. He a Hall of Famer. Larry Fitzgerald's going to the Hall of Fame. Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Show. It's been a long time, my guy. Appreciate you coming through with the $5 super chat, but clarify that for me. You talking about Larry Fitzgerald? Big Fish Little Boat with the $2 donation. Just go best player available and get starters. I don't care who. Hey, sometimes that works in the sense of if you look at teams that go BPA, they're filled with young talent. Saints, draft good. Cowboys, draft good, right? Cowboys needed a corner. They picked a linebacker. They had a boatload of linebackers. They picked it, they made it work, and it paid off. So sometimes you definitely just got to go for the best player available. Fitzgerald. I mean, anytime you can get Fitzgerald around young players, that's smart. Minkah Fitzpatrick, to trade for? Showing up said safety Ronnie Harrison Jr. is a free agent. He's solid. It won't cost Fitzpatrick money. Ronnie Harrison Jr. Hey, I ain't mad at that. Sometimes you can get some bargain bin guys and they turn out to be good. I got Marcus Williams is probably the top name safety in free agency right now. And he started out a little skeptical, but I think he's good. I think he's a hard hitting safety. Come down here and get things done, clean some stuff up. Saint fans talk highly of him. Larry Fitz will go in the Hall of Fame quicker than David Ortiz did last night. There you go. There was Sloppy Joe said Larry Fitz. All right, it makes sense. I just heard everybody was talking about Minkah Fitzpatrick, and then I thought about Fitzmagic, and I should have knew you meant Larry Fitz coming in to teach young guys. Richie MC said, can Gilmore handle being a CB2? He was an elite cornerback, make top money. Yeah, but he's also older. See, again, it depends how he spins this. I know in the back of his head, he's still talking about transition. But sometimes with the right amount of draft picks, with the right amount of free agency purchases, right? Players that we got, and then a talent that we already have taking a step up, you can go from transition to, hey, watch out for the Eagles. And if it's watch out for the Eagles, then you can look at people who are 30, 31. But if it's not watch out for the Eagles, I got to look at 26, 27, 28. Fost Out Loud said, hey, Philly Mike, how much total money will the Eagles have capped this year? I hope it's a lot because the Pats had over 200 mil last year. Nobody, the cap was only at 180 mil total last year. So I don't know where that came from. The cap went down due to COVID. It was only at 180. It's going to be right around 205 this year. But then the cap goes to 205 this year, right? Between 200 to somewhere between 200 and 210. They'll clarify that up soon enough. I forgot they said what they were projecting it to be a couple months ago, or like a month ago. But anyways, once the cap is set at 207 million per se, just say that 207 million. Well, now you got to look at everybody on your roster. Okay, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, blah, 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 blah. You add all the base salaries and all the cap hits. Say it equals 160 mil. Well, now you got 160 mil on the thing. You got 207 to spend. Do the math, ching, 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 bang. But we should have, when it comes to crunch time, between 37 and 47 mil. Around there, that's good. Philly Trez, I wonder if Megatron or Marvin Harrison are into coaching wide receivers, right? Sometimes the greats don't always coach right, but when you are that great and that much of a leader, like look at Deion Sanders, right? I watched Undisputed today, and then Shaq was joking about Deion being the coach of the Cowboys. But the crazy thing is Deion's, he's with Forest State, Jack Forest State. I don't know what college he coaches. I know it's a college team, but he got them turned around. They were 11-2 last year, I believed. And just some people can and lead men, right? It is what it is. Shaq said DJ Chark. Hey, I thought he was 6'2". Y'all told me he was 6'4". That changes the whole game plan. Also, why is DeMarvin Leal falling down draft boards? Did he underperform, or do teams above us just have different needs? Yeah, it's crazy how he's fallen. That is a guy I really want to study more, and I'm trying to figure out the reason why. A lot of people have been telling me to look into him more. Let's get T.O. to play the X, right? He said he could still do it. Name Brand said when Howie says surrounding Hurts with talent means proven talent, so free agency and trades are must. There you go. I'll give you that. That's facts. And then the same thing, right? He's moving stuff around. And shout out to Brandon Brooks for, playing it smart. Like, a lot of people were not really rude, because most of us were like, hey, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you, everything you did. But some people were saying, well, he should have gave us this money back. He didn't play for the rest of the, how many years. He was always injured. I mean, you can't control your body. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And so I look at this situation like he still could have tried to do us dirty, but he worked with Howie, restructured his deal, went from 13 mil to 1 mil base salary, saved us 12 mil. We'll pay him a little bit on the back end in like 23, 24, 25, but it's pennies to the dollar in the sense of what it would have been. So I love it. DG said, let's go get Earl Thomas to play outside linebacker. I mean, Earl Thomas, he has problems with being a good teammate, blah, 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 but I wouldn't say outside linebacker. I mean, he's still a safety, in a smaller safety. He's a ball hawk type safety, but I like his play. NFC East Beast and the Cowboys are a complete mess. It'll be the NFC lease again next year. Oh, no, whoa, I hate that term. Ray said, hey, Mike, would you get DK Metcalf? If the DK Metcalf rumors are real, which I did hear a little buzz, he's always on my radar. Always on my radar. I'm worried that we need a coach now, going off the fact that we barely utilize Gainwell, Scott, and Watkins. Also, we totally went against the game plan that goes just to disguise our playoff game. I mean, look, that playoff game, and this is a guy who's been supporting Hurts all season. A lot of that fell on Hurts. There was some plays to be made. To Quez Watkins. Just didn't get made. It is what it is. But I have faith in Nick Sirianni. There's a lot of rumors of Philly signing DJ Chark to replace Rager. I hope it happens, to be honest. I read an article earlier today about DJ Chark. They didn't tell me his size in the article, or maybe I skipped through that. But I agree. I thought he was 6'2". I knew he had 4.3 speed. I knew he was a bigger receiver, but 6'4" fits what we need. Yang Gang said, "Give me Leo and Jay and George's George Karlaftis and call it a day." Hey, sounds good to me. That's a pass rusher too. That, he's solid. He's a bigger dude. I think the dude from Purdue and Karlaftis is more ready, but I still think David Abuja. I got it. Abuja. Y'all gotta let me know. Y'all can't let me know, but I got to know. I gotta type it in YouTube and let it and listen to actually listen instead of watch. Listen. But yeah, I hear you on that. I trust you over Rager. Real talk. You already know. He might be 40, but he's not gonna drop it. Unspoken Word says DJ Chark already proven. Chalk is already proven. That's facts. Don said, "Hey, getting safeties to play linebacker is the new direction of the league." That's what they thought the direction was going, right? That's why the Eagles invest the last couple of years so little in linebacker. But it's bad. I mean, first of all, Luke Kuechly still played in the passing league, dominant. Bobby Wagner in the passing league, dominant. Michael Parsons in the passing league, dominant. And especially these next-gen linebackers, right? Nakobe Dean, linebacker, can rush the passer, right? Listen, every year positions evolved, right? They evolve. Linebackers are coming back into the fold, and they're coming in versatile to be stand-up or hand in the dirt. Move them around. Now, not everybody's going to be Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? A Jobu. There you go. A Jobu. And Carl Loftus. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. You already know. I don't even care anymore. I used to get mad nervous and embarrassed. Now I just roll with it. Actually, I actually like messing it up. It's funny. Lit City, Tennessee didn't win because of Julio. He only had like 400 some yards. I just know he can mentor Smitty. Yeah, Alabama Tides run deep over there with Smitty and Julio. But I think you can get a guy who can mentor Smitty and Quez, but also perform. The three guys on the thumbnail, add in Michael Gallup. They're ballers. DJ Chark, you know what? Look, again, he doesn't get as much coverage being in Jacksonville and whatnot, but I knew he was fast. And I knew he had hands. But 6'4", a Jobu. There you go. We got to talk more about DJ Chark. But at the end of the day, I do believe Howie Roseman is ready for free agency. Us, knowing that we got 3 first-round picks, we're ready. We are ready for the draft. But we will be listen, we buying tickets to the free agency. And see the big names go on day 1 and day 2 and day 3 of free agency opening up. And I believe it's like March 13, 14, 15, 16, somewhere around there. March is closer than April. And so guys that you really want in the draft and guys that you actually think that Howie's going to go for, if he signs people on free agency, it can change how we look at the draft necessarily, unless, he signs just a depth piece. Shaq said he's 6'4". You already know. Amber Terrell said Logan Hall will be the best defensive end, coming out there with the hot takes. Jermaine Johnson is a guy that I want to look at a little bit more. I like what I saw. And shout out to J Tuck. He's a Cowboys fan, but I saw him putting up some film sessions of Jermaine Johnson, and I was watching a little bit. It looks good. C. Teal said, too bad Minka's not a free agent. Yeah. I know people were asking me, why if I would take him in free agency. I'm like, we would have to trade for him. Philly Fresh in the building said, yo, that hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate you for tuning in, Philly Fresh. Definitely go check my guy out. He got the Brandon Brooks retirement video up. Listen, the like button is free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing. Do your boy a favor. 209 people in the chat. Hit that like button. It's easy. It's free. And I greatly appreciate it. Name brand said OJ probably better mentor play style. Mentor OBJ. I said OJ. OBJ probably better mentor play style-ish. I hear you. Chief wants AB. You want AB? Oh, man, y'all killing me. Every time it's a little different. S said, who do you think the best person they could sign this free agency? I think if you ask me, right? Hold up. Buddha B at safety, do this fast and can rush the passer. Yeah. I don't think he's a free agent, though, but I'm a big Buddha Baker fan. Penn State said the Arnold. Hey, ask Philly Fresh about him. One of the guys that, again, I did a mock draft, not my mock draft, but I said I repeated Mel Kiper's, Bucky Brooks, and Dale Meyer. I can't talk today. Daniel Jeremiah's, and one of them had us drafting the Penn State pass rusher, defensive end Arnold. I can't say his last name, but you know. But going back to what the last question was, I honestly think the Eagles are 100% in the market for a veteran wide receiver and a veteran pass rusher. That is what I think we're in the market for, as much as a pass rusher in the draft. I think you come out this draft with a pass rusher. I think you sign a veteran pass rusher and a veteran receiver. If we somehow get a veteran safety in Marcus Williams, or a veteran corner in J.C. Jackson and or Carlton Davis, or I really don't want to say Stephon Gilmore because he's older, and I think we're looking for now and future. But I think the wide receiver and edge rusher is really in Howie's mind. Free agency and edge rusher in the draft, and then, whatever he could sprinkle in, because Howie Roseman getting them Benjamins. You know what I mean? JD said Hurts is y'all quarterback, and his laughing my butt off merely means he's sad because he's not. Who do you like? Who you like? Coming up in here with that. You want AB so when we cut him, he can tweet Eagles eliminated from the playoff. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny but dirty, right? He wishes Tom Brady luck, and then he's like, eliminated. And he laughed about it. He didn't make it, but when somebody made it, he retweeted it. Michael said, I would draft the 15 and 16 pick and trade the 19 pick for a first next year. That's definitely something I'm open to as well. Don said we need safeties, cornerback, cover linebackers. I agree 100%. You wouldn't mind having OBJ? As a talent-wise, no. I just don't know if, listen, Hurts got a lot to prove this season. And if you got a guy like OBJ, you saw Baker Mayfield when he wasn't living up to what he's supposed to be doing, OBJ aired him out. I think OBJ is better fitted for, guy who's going to throw the ball down the field. Philly, name brand said tires of Barnett and Kerrigan, tired of Barnett and Kerrigan and Graham getting too old. Sweat needs help. That's why I think you still need a veteran pass rusher. Hassan Reddick is not that old. And then also go in and get pass rushers in the draft as well. Marianne Johnson said, I don't want facts. Nick said, this is what I would do in the offseason. What will you do in the offseason? I saw one I want to. Sloppy Joe said, only wide receivers I'm targeting in the draft is Treylon Burks. That's somebody I want to look at. See, again, in Mel Kiper's, Daniel Jeremiah's, and Bucky Brooks, right? Mel Kiper's receiver was Chris Olave. Bucky Brooks' receiver was Treylon Burks. And Daniel Jeremiah's receiver was Drake London. Burks and London being the bigger guys. But he said I would draft them. The only ones I would target if they fall to the third round somehow or Justin Ross, Romeo Dubs in the third or fourth. There you go. Trying to get some value there. I ain't mad at it. Paul Man City said, congrats and best wishes to Brandon Brooks. Yeah, shout out to Brandon Brooks. 3-time Pro Bowler. You know, when he was out there, this man only allowed 4 sacks in 4 seasons. 4 sacks in 4 seasons. And a lot of people will joke around and say, well, he didn't play that many games. He still played the first 2 seasons, the majority of it. And then the other 2 seasons, he played some games. So you're still talking about what? At least 40, 50 games? 40, 38, 40 games, 4 sacks. Monster. What do you think about DJ Chark? That is my next guy. Because how realistic it might be, right? We're not being tied to the Mike Williams, Chris Godwins, and the Allen Robinsons, although we have the money and it's a smart investment. And I'm really strongly, firmly believing how he's looking at the veteran wide receiver. DJ Chark is sounding better and better by the minute, but I want to look into some things. But I do think he's fast. He got hands. I didn't know he was 6'4", but I liked what he's done with, again, weird and poor quarterback play at times, right? Minshew up and down, Foles up and down, Trevor Lawrence, a rookie, still able to get it done. And he kind of took over that spot, right? It was Keelan Cole and DJ Chark, right? First it was Keelan Cole, DJ Chark, and there was another receiver over there. Then he fell off. Keelan Cole fell off. DJ Chark still kept going. And then they got Laviska Shenault, and DJ Chark is still their guy. Joe's Kick says David has a high chance of being a bust, in my opinion. He played it with Hutchinson, who got doubled every time. So you think of David from Michigan. I'm going to figure out his name, and y'all told me I said it. Some people said I right. Some people said I said it right. Some people said I said it wrong. However, that is a point. You know, was it Hutchinson, Gallon, all there? Now, I watched some tape where David from Michigan just beat his man solely. So some of the stuff I watched, it was one-on-one, and it was one-on-one, or it was him doing the beating. But that's something to consider when I start to watch more tape and not just what I've already seen, the little bit I've seen. Because highlights are highlights. Everybody look good. D. Bragg said, I think linebacker, cornerback, and I have the nagging feeling we're taking a lineman in the first 2 rounds, even more so now with BB retiring. Listen, you can never go wrong with defensive line and offensive line. It's not always the sexiest, pause, but it gets the job done, and it keeps teams like us from ever really being in a full rebuild, because that's how you win games, from the trenches. Nick Foles said we need an edge rusher and someone to help out with Smith, to help Smith out. I agree with you. And I think the best way to get Smith help is to get a veteran wide receiver. Well, DJ Chark is now added into the people that I'm looking into, along with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, and Chris Godwin. Chris Graham said Devin Lloyd is Micah Parsons. I can't wait to get that. Listen, some of y'all going to love me. Some of y'all going to kill me, because I'm going to do the comparison very soon. I just got to gather more information, go through more film, and I'm going to give you my take on Lloyd versus Dean. You think Fletcher is going to be traded in the offseason? He making too much money. Fletch wasn't traded this season. He will be here at least till the trade deadline. And then we'll see what happens. I said it the other day, it's going to be hard to attract good talent with Hurts at the helm. Receivers don't want to just block and get overthrown every down. That is true. I'm not saying I agree in the sense that he won't get better, but we are, to a wide receiver's mind, a run-first team. Can't deny that. However, money talks. And let me just say this. Allen Robinson, being a guy who's older and been around the league for a minute, he might want to go to a winner, right? But Mike Williams was only making $4 million last year. He wants a long-term deal with whoever's going to give him it. Or he wants a $15 to $17 million a year deal with whoever's going to give it to him. And Chris Godwin, who now tore his ACL or whatever, Achilles, ACL, I'm not sure again. He, if offered a long-term deal, is going to be happy to get it. He, off his rookie deal, was franchise tag by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he made about 15 million, 14, 15, 16 million, but it was a 1-year contract. He hurt himself. And so now, these guys will sign. But I hear what you're saying in the sense of it's not as glamoring until Hurts come out and ball. But that's a wait and see progress. You know what I mean? I can't guarantee that. Call it like I see it. Call it like it is, Mike. OBJ ain't emotionally stable. Can't rely on that. Yeah. And, and he's an alpha dog. And he's not afraid to tell quarterback what he thinks of him. D-Train said Burks out of USC, right? Yes. Treylon Burks is out of USC. And I know you think, no. That's Nelson Aguilar. It's not Nelson, but he was out of USC as well. So was Michael Pittman. Burks. No, yeah. Burks is out of Arkansas. London, Drake, London Bridge is falling down. I don't know. I got a 2-year-old. He's the one. London is out of USC. There you go. London out of USC. Burks out of Arkansas. Again, I actually know a little bit more about London than I know about Burks, but everybody tells me if you like DK Metcalf, Burks kind of reminds them of DK Metcalf. Let me know your thoughts on that because I still got to watch more of Burks. Shout out to Eagle Eyes Landon. He told me too. Just found out Josh Sweat got sick after seeing Gannon's game. Oh, my God. Hey, listen. I'll try not to make a joke about it with you because real talk, his sickness ended up being life-threatening. So that's kind of, shout out to him for getting better. But that killed me because it looked like it. Right now, I would admit the defense adjusted. Listen, they made Tom Brady punt more than what I thought they would. So I do want to give him credit for that. However, that's funny. BB said thoughts on Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback. I think he's a guy that you could look at in the later as your last first-round pick, right? If Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley Jr. is going to go. Sauce Gardner is probably going to go. Who's the guy from Florida State? There's a Florida cornerback I think is pretty decent. Booth Jr. is another guy. It's just, what are we doing? Is that last pick going to get traded back for, 2023? Will he fall to the early second round? Can we move up? I mean, it's tough, but Andrew Booth, he's definitely one of them. He's definitely my top 5 corners. J Smack said no receivers are coming to Philly, free agent while Hurts is there. I mean, I think Baltimore could have got free agent wide receivers, and Lamar went through the same thing as Hurts. I just think a receiver who hasn't signed money would like to. Shout out to everybody who's been correcting me. Dang, I'm way behind. I'm mad far behind. That's why I keep seeing it. Trent McDuffie. Give me Sauce Gardner and safety smoke Monday. Later in the draft, the sauce and the smoke. Give me the sauce and the smoke. I'll take that. But listen, Amon Gardner, though, I like him. Listen, we saw things happen, right? I think Washington and Denver are really going to flirt with a quarterback. Although we don't like these quarterbacks that are coming out necessarily, right, as high upside, I can see Matt Corral or Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis enticing a Denver Broncos and a Washington football team. That's 2 teams. Now we got to worry about 13 teams picking in front of us, right? Then you got Hutchinson and Thibodeau. Now you got to worry about 11 teams picking in front of us. Now you got the offensive tackle Neal and maybe Linderbaum. Now it's only 9 teams you got to worry about picking in front of us. And then you got, I did understand when they said that the Giants might go defensive end and they might get the David Ajobu. Now you got only So it gets down to 5, 6, 4, 3, 2. Maybe if we're at 12 and a guy like Kyle Hamilton or Sauce Gardner is on it, maybe we trade up, we grab Sauce. Could you imagine grabbing Sauce? Could you imagine grabbing Gardner? And we always go back to the draft because it's so enticing at this point. Can you imagine grabbing Gardner, Lloyd, or Dean, and then either, was the 19th pick in part of the move up? Was it in part of the move back? Who knows? But, CD Lamb falling to 17 shows you things don't always go according. Alexa says, Philly Mike, there it is, Elam over Gardner. Now, the cornerbacks were hard because I really didn't pay attention. For the majority of the time, I was only looking at Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley Jr. But now I'm trying to look at Booth and Elam for the simple fact that they're in our range. There's one more I want to look at too. But I don't like to just go off of, my spare time is really now going to be, and you could type it in. There's websites that get you the whole game. So, highlights get you started. But to really see, and listen, there is draft analysts that you can not 100% go by, but read what they say about them, hear it, then watch a full game, which is not a highlight reel, and see if you see some of the same things, good or bad. Ooh, he said he gets out of his back pedal too slow. I don't see that. Watch another game. I don't see that. Oh, he said he jumps on double moves. Yeah, I see that. He got caught with it, right? So you can kind of see who is right and who's wrong. But Elam, over Sauce. That's a hot take, but you never know. Sometimes, look at Pitts. Pitts was supposed to be better than Jamar Chase. Pitts is good. Jamar Chase is a dog. Skull Cut Sue with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. Let's right the ship and get DK and maybe Wilson. What do you think we got to give up? Skull Cut Sue, let me know you don't got to super chat it, but what do you think we have to give up physically to get both DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson? Witch King says Sauce has long arms, which is a good trade for a corner. Then again, so did Jaquette. You can't do that to me, bro. But here's the difference, though. He's highly touted coming out of Cincinnati, where Jaquette was an undrafted rookie free agent. But I get what you're saying. But look at Ramsey. Right? Ramsey, long arms. The long arm cornerback, right? Antonio Cromartie, long arm cornerback. They do well. Eddie said, he's talking to Monroe. We should draft D's. You trying to get me, or is there somebody named D's? Over Gardner, Philly Mike. Hey, you know what? I might have to do a little. Look, first of all, I want to go see what some of the analysts have, right? I want to see their rankings. I know Stingley's number 1, and I would assume Amon Gardner's number 2. I want to see who, if it goes Stingley, Gardner, Elam, then Booth. I want to see what the order is for what they say, and I'll do my own too, because like the crazy thing is we're talking about it now because we got 3 first-round picks. We still got free agency. And from January 26th to April, I'm going to be like I'm studying for the SATs. I'm going to act like I'm studying for the SATs when it comes to, these draft prospects, because I'm not going to just stop with our first round. I'm going to try to find the Quez Watkins of this draft. I'm going to try to find that 5th round talent of this draft, that 3rd round. He fell because of this, right? JOK was the guy that we wanted, and he fell for some strange reason, and we all said the team that gets him is going to be lucky, and he was right behind Parsons as one of the top linebackers this year. Showing up said I like Elam as well, but seems as though he'll draw a lot of pass interference in the league, but he's also a very good tackler. Sauce is a better coverage corner over Elam, in my opinion. Yeah, it's hard. J.C. Horn was a guy out of South Carolina last year who went top 10, but he was thought to have possibly been one of them overly aggressive corners, and it could translate different to the NFL being more aggressive and PI. So you do got to watch that, but it's not the end all be all. But I like your thing. See, that's what also I do, right? When you guys comment on my videos and say, go check out Christian Harrison because he does this, and this well. Well, I try to remember that. So when I'm watching them and I'm like, all right, I forgot who said it, but this guy told me to watch this. I don't see it, or I do see it, right? I take everybody's word and then I try to get my own opinion as well. And at the end of the day, we all just talking what we see and what we know or what we think we know. I've been around the game of football a lot, but so have you guys. We could still re-sign Nelson. If the price is right, I'm not 100% off it. You know what I mean? If you're looking at what he did and comparing it to the $3 million we gave him, I think it fits the mold. Can we get someone in here that bumps Steven Nelson down to a death piece or a nickel piece or a dime piece, right? Jonathan Gannon, I thought now you can play dime, right? I forgot if he didn't know what it was or didn't have the personnel, didn't have enough corners. Yeah, they try to get me with the D's, right? The D's. Sauce can tackle too. Hawk said, give me David, Ajobu, Lloyd, and Sauce, and our defense will dramatically change. Hey, can't go wrong there, right? How did the stinking Dallas Cowboys change their defense? Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. That's really it, right? Randy Gregory stepped up a little bit. He came back from his shenanigans. Tank Lawrence, to be honest, after he got that $20 million, Ajobo. Y'all killing me. Anyways, Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons. That's how they really upped their defense, right? Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons didn't come out the same draft. They came one after the other in the 2019 and the 2020 draft. However, Trayvon Diggs took that next step. Micah Parsons came right out the gate firing. And then it made guys like Gregory look better. Tank Lawrence got back to being good after taking $20 million, right? Guys started to play better because they were just around dogs. DAWGS type players. Y'all killing me. PD Tatis said, I want a safety from the Steelers. The safety from the Steelers is not a free agent. The safety from the Steelers would have to be acquired in a trade. Minkah Fitzpatrick is under contract to 2023. So, I mean, a lot of people came in here because I really wanted to talk about free agency, and we did for like the first 30 minutes, the first 25, 30 minutes, and y'all get me talking about the draft. I ain't mad at the game. That's what we're more excited about as fans. But I believe in Howie Roseman being aggressive. I can see us getting a defensive end and a wide receiver in free agency, veterans. And then sprinkle in something else in free agency, and then oh boy, the draft's going to be much sweeter. Because if we get DJ Chark, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, or Allen Robinson, now I'm even more confident we don't spend a first-round pick on a wide receiver, and I'm just ready to see the defensive talent that we can get on this team. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a great player, and maybe I would trade for him, but he's not a free agent until 2023. Antonio Holmes says, Elon played versus SEC wide receivers. Go see how he did against all top wide receivers. You will change your mind. Elon was shutting those receivers down. Hey, so there's a couple people co-signing Alexis. Paul Mancini says, safety's Curse played well for the Cowboys. Yes, he did. Curse played well. He did. He was a guy who I didn't even know about, and he stepped up big time. I don't think Nelson was that bad. If he ain't that expensive, keep him around. Hey, you read my mind. Mexico said you build through drafting best player available. That's how the Cowboys ended up with Lamb, Diggs, and Parsons. And Mexico, Ron, I talked about that. I specifically called out the Cowboys on being a BPA, and that's how they got it, right? They didn't need a linebacker. I understand I forgot the guy's name that they released during the middle of the season. He went to the Packers. Somebody in the chat let me know that the Cowboy linebacker that got released. But with him, Van Der Esch, they didn't physically need it more than other positions, but they went BPA, and he turned out to be a linebacker / defensive end. Now, Marcus Williams is a free agent, and I believe he would fit. Even if we bring Ronnie McLeod back for one more year, I want Marcus Williams. I need two people from the thumbnail. And if you want to just take one person from the thumbnail on the defensive side, throw me a DJ Chark, right? I want a veteran wide receiver. I'll take a safety or a DN, veteran-wise. Both of you, if how he can pull it off. Marcus Williams is a guy I think we could use. He's ready to play now. Any guy, and he's not that old. Alexa said, Philly Mike, I wonder how Laurie and Harry evaluate coaches, because it seems we only get development from Jeff Stoutland. We need energy. We need an energy coach. Energy. I think Nick Sirianni has energy, right? The flower thing, little weird. I ran with it, right? Flowers everywhere. You already know what we do. Roots on 3, 1, 2, 3, roots. However, he's a little animated, right? You see him cursing and getting upset and getting high and low on the sideline. I think we need developers, and you're right about that, right? Aaron Moorhead, second year as wide receiver coach. J-Jaw, right? Whatever we think of J-Jaw and Rager, they were productive in college, right? They're not DK Metcalf. They're not, I repeat, not Justin Jefferson, but they were productive in college. They come to the Eagles and they're unproductive. Devontae, just Devontae. He already been elevated, right? Same with the cornerbacks, right? Sidney Jones left us, did better with Jacksonville. Rasul's doing better with Green Bay. So it's systems and player coaches. I agree. We have to be better developing who we have. I see so many people get these young players, and you're like, who is this guy? Then 2-3 years later, you're like, oh, whoa. When did this happen? How did this happen? And for some reason, we don't get that. Jalen Smith, shout out to Sloppy Joe. Yeah. But the Cowboys didn't physically need a linebacker when they needed, they could have used one, but it was cornerback, because they weren't sure how Anthony Brown was going to play. You know what I mean? But they went best player available. Shout out to AB3, all you guys, J Wheels, Mexico, for letting me know Jalen Smith. Lit City says, so now we taking notes from Dallas. No. We don't got to take notes for Dallas, but this is one thing I do. I hate Dallas, and I'm always down to clown them and disrespect them and do all that other stuff, right? But we taking notes from the NFL. Teams that do something right, you got to look at it, right? The Saints draft good. Pay attention. Cowboys have draft good. Pay attention. It's as simple as that. We not taking notes, though, because at the end of the day, last 20 years, the Cowboys got 3. I repeat, 3 playoff wins, and we got 14. Getting high and low, uppers and downers. There you go. My man Philly Trez is feeling real good right now. Learn. No. So this is why we don't give the Cowboys any credit, because they be creeping up in here. You know what I mean? Jay Quest said our wide receiver coach is trash. I mean, I can't physically say otherwise. He hasn't showed me nothing. He's brought 2 wide receivers. He brought 2 wide receivers in from college and haven't gotten nothing out of them. They went backwards. JD said, learn how to be one and done. Yeah, there you go. Let them know. Yeah, it might be time for Aaron Moore to go. It might. Did Brandon Brooks affect our cap? Yes. We end up saving $12 million for 2022 season by him restructuring and retiring. Safety Justin Reed of the Texans. I also like Q Diggs from Seattle, but he broke his leg the last week of the season. That sucks for Diggs. But Justin Reed, I'm not even gonna bullcrap you, right? Some of the teams like the Texans, I'm like, I know who Justin Reed is per se, but I don't really know how his season went, because the Texans are just a team I'm like, really? Texans? Click. Let my kids watch cartoons. Nah, I'm just kidding. I still try to watch football as much as possible. Saints are $70 million over the cap, so probably unlikely to oh yeah. Listen, not only are the Saints not going to re-sign back their free agents, they really might be like yard sale time. And I don't think yard sale in the sense of them selling things for cheap, but they might have to move off a couple contracts. Joshua said, game recognized game, though. Can't hate. I hate the Cowgirls too, but to give credit where credit's due, that's what you got to do. I try to keep it a buck as much as I can. Because when I'm wrong on here, I come on here and eat crow. Pause. Randy said the Eagles organization need to hire more from players as coaches to help with development, right? Yeah. But whatever happened to Darren Sproles and who was the Jason Babin, right? Yeah, we had some guys come in. Wasn't Brent Selleck supposed to work with player development? Like there was guys who were supposed to come in and work with that. What is going on, right? Jason Avant was an assistant wide receiver coach. This man, and listen, shout out to Jason Avant. But on Inside the Birds, Inside the Birds with Jeff Mosher and Adam Kaplan. You know, you got the Q&A show with Quentin Michael and Jason Avant. And he has a lot to say. But he was an assistant wide receiver coach. You ain't tell these guys that? Maybe the talent's just so bad. See, what is it though? Is it the talent so bad the coaches can't get nothing out of them? Or is it that our coaches are so bad we can't grow them? We not watering. We not fertilizing. We not growing the roots. What's going on? I miss Selleck. Dude just would run people over with the ball. Yeah, I like Selleck a lot. Connor Barwin. There it is. Appreciate it. Do I think Quez is a number 2? I think he's a fringe number 2, right? I think he could have had a better season, more productive season if he was used right. Not saying Nick Sirianni. I'm putting Jalen Hurts under the fire a little bit for this as well. I think he's a fringe 2. But if he's your number 3, you're golden, right? If he's your number 2, then I want to know who's your number 3. And it's like, yeah. But if Quez is your number 3, you're good. You got a legit wide receiver. If whether it's Devontae and the veteran receiver and then Quez, or the veteran wide receiver Devontae and Quez, you got them 3, you're good. Yikes, Lloyd or Dean go to the Giants. Well, see that, think about this though. The Giants have 2 picks back-to-back too, and I think, what is it, 6 and 7? They got to pick 6 and 7. I would love if the Giants said, forget Daniel Jones and went quarterback. They need an edge rusher. They need an edge rusher. They do. That's where I can possibly see either that Purdue guy going or the Michigan guy. David, y'all make fun of me for. I hate the fact that a divisional rival has 2 picks in front of us. Philly Jackson said Jason Avant is a real one. Oh, no. I'm not saying he's not a real one. I love and respect him. I'm just saying he was an assistant wide receiver coach as well. And for him talking about what these guys need to do, I mean, under him as well, these guys didn't develop. So it could be not saying that he's a bad coach. It could be more on the talent that they're being given. Oh, yeah, 100% Quez is more of a number 2 than Rager. Rager's not much. Was Avant on Sirianni's staff? No. It was on Doug Peterson's staff. No, he wasn't an assistant coach under this regime. He was an assistant coach under Doug Peterson to wide receivers. Hear me out. Bring Sue Douglas back. You trying to say bring Hugh Douglas back as a safety? Oh, my Lord. Blood said Hurts needs to curl his right arm all summer. There you go. Jay Wheel said Eagles need to bring Seth Joyner in to be a linebacker coach. I'll take that. Hold up. Wait a minute. Shout out to Glow with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. Sidney Jones and Rasul Douglas are free agents. We gonna let him rock. I know Rasul Douglas played good with Green Bay. Hey, Green Bay has cap troubles too. Excuse me, because I was saying on my last stream, I think it was Monday night, I was saying I don't see Aaron Rodgers could. I was saying Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to leave, but then I realized that the Green Bay Packers really can't sign Devontae Adams because they're broke. The Saints are the worst when it comes to the cap. Packers are the second worst. So with that being said, Devontae Adams go, Aaron Rodgers out of there. Dang, I needed that. Chase said we got 3 wide receivers. That's no good. They can't get separation. That's no good in the NFL. Whoa, 3 wide receivers. I hope you're talking about Greg Ward Jr. or something, because you can't be putting Devontae Smith in there. He's been doing that. He's been putting in that work. Has Jalen hit him every time? No. Things need to be corrected on both sides, but Devontae, he broke Deshaun Jackson's rookie record. And the people who have a little slight to say against Devontae quickly say he needed 17 games to break Deshaun Jackson's record. And I say, okay, but check this out. Deshaun Jackson had 1 game less, but he had a more passing type quarterback in Donovan McNabb, right? And it wasn't a 17th game, but it was in the first quarter. So it wasn't like it took him the whole game. Smoke Law said, I think we should have kept Foles or what? Fortnite? Alexa says, what worries me is, okay, you picked Whiteside over Metcalf. Okay, then you picked Greger over Jefferson. Something is definitely wrong. It is. And we've heard the reports that it was a Howie Roseman / Jeff Lurie pick, right? Lurie thought Whiteside was an outstanding citizen. Great guy. It's not going to win you football games, right? Now, credit Howie Roseman and his staff for the 2020 draft. And Devontae Smith was easy peasy lemon squeezy, but Landon Dickerson and looks like Milton Williams is something. Teron Jackson played pretty decent, pretty meaningful snaps for a 5th or 6th round pick. So I like the 2020 draft. But 18 and 19 at the wide receiver position was horrible. And I do believe they were Howie Roseman / Jeff Lurie picks. But if the scouting team was involved in this draft and you see how successful it was, I mean, Howie Roseman does do off-the-wall type things, but normally when he sits back and sees something that's working, he falls back and let it be. And now that you saw a nice wide receiver come here and be successful, hopefully it's like a free throw. Once it goes in, you see another one and another one. Trez said Seth Joyner should be defensive coordinator. I mean, he's going to tell it to you straight. He's going to earn the respect from these players. He's not going to sugarcoat. He's going to teach. I love them. Look at D'Amico Ryan, right? Again, I want to say this. Just because you are a good player don't mean you'll be a good coach. You have to have that coaching personality, right? Sometimes when you say, this guy will take no crap, I understand that, but you still got to treat people like humans, right? You can't be like, someone messes something up and just, go off on them and just want to, go crazy. So you need to have that coaching mindset. However, D'Amico Ryans fills in for Robert Saleh, right? Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator for the Niners. Great job. Gets a Jets head coaching job. Sorry about that, because they're going to ruin you like they did Todd Bowles. That's my brother's team, so I'm allowed to do that. Anyways, D'Amico Ryan steps in and he has them Niners playing as good as or better than Robert Saleh. D'Amico Ryan being the Texans and the Eagles linebacker. So I would definitely like to inquire about Seth Joyner's ability or want to when it comes to being a defensive coordinator. Ref Taco said, so this ain't anything, but I just realized we love Deuce for how his players loved him, but Detroit were 31st in rushing, and we had the #1 rushing without Deuce. is a running back coach or a friend. There you go, right? Everybody talks about the respect and the friendship and the chemistry was built. And we had some good run games with Deuce. We did. Think about it. Deuce has been here for a minute. But wow. And Jalen Hurts was a part of the run game. We didn't have that previous years with Carson Wentz. So I understand that. But that's true, ref. That's legit. Think about that. Nate Gary should be our OC since bring back Fulgham. I mean, if it's free, why not? AB was a piece of blah, but still got Tom Brady a Super Bowl. Yeah, sometimes you gotta suck it up, but if we had a Tom Brady on our team, we can handle AB. But who's telling AB to fall back when he's clowning Jalen Hurts or something crazy? Cody said, please don't pick a wide receiver in the first round. Howie has enough chances on those. Try another position like linebacker or safety. I agree 100% with you, Cody. And to more make what you say come true, we need Howie in early March, right? When free agency opens up, I need Howie Roseman to spend the money he just saved. $12 million saved, $15 million spent per year on one of the wide receivers on the screen or DJ Chark. 2 times in the building. What's going on with you, my guy? Philly fan D up in here talking to JD. Go ahead and let him know what it is. What it is. Name Brand said BG needs to transition to a coach soon. He's done. It's going to be hard to come back from that ACL, though, for real. Peter Riley, what's going on with you? Ray said, hey, Mike, do you remember Trevon Grimes? Yeah, we let him go after he got injured, and nothing ever came of it. D-Train said, I'm not going to lie. When Reagor was drafted, I was like, oh, man. Listen, I'm not even going to lie. I was low-key. I wanted Jefferson. Or I like Justin Jefferson. I also like Mims, too, but I like Justin Jefferson, right? But Gate City kind of started to sell me on Reagor, bro. He did sell me a little bit. Still not to be over him, but he sold me. And so when we got him, I said, okay, it's not Jefferson, but let's see. And then it was just like, what? Paul said, no Fulgham. Isaiah, what's going on with you? Because we got Stoutland. Yeah, Stoutland is no joke. Marcus Smith was better than Barnett. I don't know if we can go that far, but I know what you mean. Barnett definitely lackluster. Plus, so we don't need a B, but we don't need a perfect person. Oh, yeah. I agree there, right? We don't need a good citizen, right? We don't need no, we need football players. DSG said, hey, Cowgirls fan, use your cap money to fix your roof. Fulgham will be in the USFL, maybe for the Philadelphia Stars. I want 2 defensive players and an offensive player with the first picks. So you're saying if we go all 3, so a lot of people are on board with dropping 1 first-round pick to next year. Trading back, having somebody come up, and utilizing a pick next year just in case, number 1 doesn't pan out. In my opinion, you got to pick up that. Yeah, you got to pick up that can and get a wide receiver. I hear you. 2 times says Reagor was Gate City's boy. Yeah, he was. I mean, but Gate City has came back and said he don't know what happened. And that's why Gate really does second guess what's going on in the developmental part of this organization and coaching staff. My bad, guys. He definitely sold me on him, though. He definitely did. I didn't go to front. I was like, all right, Gate, you got me a little bit. Let's see. And it was just crickets. And then crickets. And it was just sad. Philly, who has a cuttable contract that can help the cap for a better chance at free agent signings. Well, we just restructured and, sent Brandon Brooks into retirement. I mean, it was more him and his decision, but he worked it with us. That freed up enough right there. When you look at other players on this team, Fletch, no. Graham, no. Lane, no. Are we going to bring back McLeod? Are we going to bring back Harris? Are we going to bring back Nelson? These are all things we have to think about. But right now, I believe, again, we had 16 million to roll over to 22. Now we got 12 more. That's 28 million. And things are not fully done, right? Things change post-June. So we're going to have around 38 to 47 million dollars in space. That means I want a defensive free agent. Could be defensive end, could be corner, could be safety. The guys I have on the screen, on the thumbnail. And I want a veteran wide receiver, guys on the screen, the thumbnail, and we can add in DJ Chark. I agree with y'all on that. Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be a free agent. Yo, it's crazy how many people came in this stream. First of all, I got a message on Twitter about Minkah. Minkah Fitzpatrick is under contract till 2023. He has a cap hit for the Steelers, base salary of 10 point something million dollars. If you want Minkah, you would have to, I'm not saying you can't get him, you would have to trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick, but Minkah Fitzpatrick is not a free agent. Just type in on Google, go to Google search, Minkah Fitzpatrick contract. First thing that's going to pop up, I said pop up is spottrack.com. They give you all the contracts for everybody. You know what I mean? It's just, I think Minkah Fitzpatrick is young and a stud. I would trade for him too. But Mike Tomlin is a smart guy and he's a defensive guy. Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. He's not trading away Minkah Fitzpatrick. Him, J.J. Watt, they're the future of that defense. Not J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt. Shout out to Michael Feldler with the $10 donation. Greatly appreciated, my guy. The furthest pick should be moved to next year, but shop it to who? That's a good question, right? Because you want to shop it to a team. You first of all, you want the team to call you, right? If you start calling teams, you lost leverage. Right then and there, you lost leverage. So you got to wait for a team to call you. And you're hoping that it's a rebuilding team that somehow picked in the early half of this draft, right? A la I don't know. Trying to think of somebody who picked before, who's going to pick like around, say the Jets, right? Say the Jets pick somebody before us and they're calling because they really want this guy at 19. Your preference is to get a first round pick on someone who's going to falter, right? Someone who's going to be in the top 10 picks next year. But you can't automatically claim that, right? Because maybe a team rebuilding doesn't want to give up future draft picks and they're not going to do it. So that is where Howie Roseman really got to sell things. Hopefully the board falls right. Guys who picked early or guys who are picking late. I want that, right? So, or say a team that is good. Well, see, if you get a good team's first round pick, you might be acquiring a 26 overall pick next year. So it's tough. That's where Howie Roseman got to do, as Philly 500 would say, the calculations of the cornbread and the, you know what I mean? It's tough. That's a really tough question because you can't just come out there like, you right there, you suck, take our first round pick. Can't do that. So it's tough. That's why I think, the Eagles have so many options. First of all, we could use a safety, a defensive end, a linebacker. Some people still think quarterback. Some people think wide receiver until Howie Roseman spends money on a free agent wide receiver. Then we'll be feeling a little bit better. But cornerback, offensive lineman. So with the amount of positions that we could fill, maybe best player available, with all that being said, you have the option to move up, the option to move back, the option for the future, the option for a trade. Like, really, I think we are going to be one of the most unpredictable teams, not only in free agency, not only in the draft, but next year. Football, the NFL is one sport that you can go from to what? Let's think about this. Eagles were 7-9. What did Howie Roseman do? He garnered money. He got money and he spent it. Alshon Jeffrey, Chris Long, LeGarrette Blount, Patrick Robinson, Torrey Smith. Year 2 quarterback took a leap. Things fell into place. We went to the Super Bowl. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Burrow looked okay, got hurt. Nobody outside of Cincinnati Bengal fans thought that they would be in the AFC Championship. Quick turnaround from starting over. They started over when they drafted Joe Burrow. I'm not saying Hurts is Burrow or Carson Wentz. What I'm saying is the NFL is wildly underrated when it comes to transition a team. NBA takes it could take a long time. But Howie Roseman doing what he knows how to do, get a team back into contention. It just, the proof ain't in the pudding of him keeping a team in contention, right? He tried to get Alshon Jeffrey longer, this guy longer, this guy. We couldn't keep the team together. That was good. But he sure damn well built it. But he didn't build it. He didn't build it. I can't talk. I need a drink of water. Let me take a sip real quick. He didn't build it through the draft. He built it through free agency. That's why it was harder to sustain. Building a team solely through free agency is harder to sustain. But if you build a team through the draft, a la 2018, successful. 19, 20, successful. Hopefully 21 or 21, 22 draft is, I lied. The 22 draft is very successful, sprinkled in with free agent wide receivers, defensive ends, and maybe a secondary piece. And you're looking at this team totally different. I'm not saying it's 100% going to happen, but a 7-9 team went to the Super Bowl and won it after spending in free agency and hitting on a draft or two. Bengals did it. Teams flip quickly. And we've showed in year 1 of the transition with a quarterback that majority of the people are not sold on, made the playoffs. But your schedule was weak. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Most Super Bowls won nowadays have been off free agency. All right, let's just see. All right. Yeah, I'll give you that. Tampa Bay, definitely. What about the Chiefs? Kelsey drafted. Tyreek Hill drafted. Mahomes drafted. You know what I mean? Defensively, they made a couple free agency moves, right? Free agency is important, but when all your eggs are in the free agency basket, when you can't re-sign them because they're always expensive, right? A year deal, expensive. Okay, now they want an extension for even more money. It's like you have to have that good balance to sustain. I'm not talking about get to the Super Bowl. I'm talking about sustaining. Knight Rider, what's going on with you? Latif said linebacker, defensive line, cornerback, safety, O-line, wide receiver. They're all on my grocery list, not just for the draft, but also for free agency. I'm going grocery shopping twice. I'm going with the free agency grocery shopping, and then I'm going to save some room in my cabinets for the draft grocery shopping. We going grocery shopping twice. Cowboy Super Bowl window has closed. That junk shut. That junk locked. They put locks on it. They got do not enter. They got they not letting nobody come in. I'm Gavin problem with the years too. I'm not talking about that. I don't know what you're talking about. 3 and 4 last first round picks. Teams made the playoffs with 3 years, and the Jags went back to back. Trade the whole team. Ryan Rowe, what's going on with you? Shout out to my guy J Rick Reed. What's going on with you? I meant to get back with you on Twitter. Actually, I did about the microphone. This is a Cowboy fan, but he keep it a buck. And I'm all cool. Listen, first of all, even the Cowboy fans that talk trash, I am at the game. You don't like me, I don't like you. It's just in our blood. But as long as you're talking ball, I can mess with you. Bengals had a 4th place schedule this year too. Yeah, but 4th place schedule or not. Oh, I hear what you're saying, but Bengals had not you, but people who said Bengals had a 4th place schedule. Well, they beat 2 teams in the playoffs. Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? Don't worry, Deshaun won't be a problem here if Howie will rub one on. Shout out to my guy, Free Man Luma, with the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you 100%. He said, who's one free agent on defense you really want? If I could pick one player on defense to come to Philly, it will be Marcus Williams, a guy on the thumbnail, right? Jace, the 3 people I have on the thumbnail for defense is a Hassan Reddick, a defensive end, who I like, Marcus Williams, a safety, who I like, and J.C. Jackson, a cornerback, who I like. And although I think we need defensive ends a lot, there could be a chance that Anthony Harris and Ronnie McLeod both leave. I believe defensive end is pretty hefty in the draft, even if you want to go to 2nd and 3rd round talent. So, Free Man Luma, I really want the Eagles to. I think the Eagles will try to pick up a veteran defensive end, whether it's Hassan Reddick, and there's 2 more out there. I forgot. One from the Bills and one from the Dolphins. With that being said, I think I would pick Marcus Williams. I think he's the most ready free agent on defense to come in and help us out. And I think we have a good chance to get some young talent on the defensive end position. So because I feel more confident of the Eagles drafting defensive ends than safeties, I will go Marcus Williams, the Saints guy on the thumbnail. Appreciate the super chat, my guy. Eagle Clips in the building. I kind of got pushed away from Watson. Either I want to give Hurts another year, or after the combine, maybe there's a quarterback that really impressed that Howie would like. Yeah, look, let's be honest. I don't know what it is, but the combine raises so many people's draft profile, like Denzel Mims went skyrocketing because of the combine. Didn't pay off. But then there's other people who get brought up or stock rises from the combine who does pay out. But here's my thing when it comes to the combine. It's easy to do things fast, fluently, and good when there's no pressure. So never solely go off the combine. What you're supposed to do, and I know you guys know this, right? You watch the game tape. The combine is just supposed to be more proof that what you're seeing on game day is what is really there, right? So once again, if a guy looks, say you're watching a combine and you see this guy run a 40 and he's like, he just ran a 4.3. Who is this guy? So say you didn't know the guy and he runs a 4.3. Wow. I'm going to go watch him now in a game. I learned his name from the combine. Didn't know who he was. But now people are talking about him because of his speed. Let me go watch what he did for Wyoming. He don't look that fast. He's fast, but he don't look 4.32. So his game tape doesn't replicate what you've seen there. And sometimes you got to match him. Shout out to my guy, the Philly Ace 34 with the $5 donation. Philly Mike, even though we lost in the playoffs, it is the experience that will have Hurts flourish or prove not the way to go. Prove that not the way to go. So we do keep Minshew. Prove not the way to go. So we do keep Minshew. So you're for, you don't think Hurts is the guy? I'm not sure from this question. He said, Philly Mike, even though we lost in the playoffs, it's the experience that will have Hurts flourish or prove he's not the guy. Yeah, so I give you that. And that's kind of where I'm at, right? I've been pro Hurts all season. but I can't act like I don't see the deficiencies. I just saw some progression, and I'm trying to be fake. I'm trying to have faith that he could turn it around. We're about to see though. We're about to see though. You said there wasn't a team with 3 first-round picks in 20 years, but didn't the Oakland Raiders have 3 first a few years ago? Let me know. Let me know. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, and I said don't quote me, and I said in the beginning, I said 15 to 20 years. Don't quote me. But I thought I could swear it was at least 15. Somebody check. Somebody check the last team to have 3 first-round picks. Y'all pull stuff up quicker than I can Google it. LK said I like Reddick. He from Philly. Yeah, Temple guy. If a Ritter falls to the second, if I'm gonna take him. So you're saying if. Cody said, I hope some of the quarterbacks do good at the combine so teams will reach for them and top talent on the D will fall. Only risk is how we getting infatuated and hopefully not. Facts. Listen, here's my thing. I said this, right? So the Eagles pick for the first pick is at 15. We know Thibodeau and Hutchinson are coming off. That's 13 people we got to worry about now, right? I think there's 3 tackles, 3 offensive linemen that are going to go. Neal, Landenbaum, and there's one other that should go before us, right? That's now 10 people we got to worry about. I'm hoping 2 quarterbacks go before us because Washington could use one, and so could Denver. They both need quarterbacks. Whether Matt Corral, Malik Willis, or Kenny Pickett is the guy, you just got to do it. You need a quarterback. Do it. Like Nike said, just do it. That's now 8 people ahead of us. And I think there's going to be 2 defensive ends coming off, 2 more, and David Ajobu and that Purdue guy. So, now you're down to like 7. Oh, no. Maybe not both of them, but then Sauce Gardner, Derek Stinley. So now I just named enough to make it only 4 more. Now, them 4 picks could be crucial because it could be 4 guys that we're really wanting. But I'm telling you, there's a good chance, especially once the combine starts coming around, that people fall. It's the Raiders. Yeah, but does somebody know how long ago? How long ago? It's the Raiders. Yeah, I'm just ahead. I don't know, man. Someone gotta let me know. I'm gonna have to look it up now because now y'all got me. Y'all making me. I said 15 to 20 years was the last time. Like 3 years ago? All right, it's not 15. It was 2013. It was the Vikings. 2022 NFL draft order. Eagles set to be the first playoff team. Oh, first playoff team to make. Oh, yeah. The first playoff team. That's what it was. Not first team in general. Because listen, you would think that there's teams that have 3 first-round picks because they're trash, right? If you won 2 games and you sold and you've been selling, right? I'm getting rid of all my veterans on the team because we stink. So I got 3 first-round picks, but I stink. So that's what it was. The Eagles are set to be the first playoff team, meaning how did you get to the playoffs? Because you're a decent team, right? You don't get to the playoffs if you're the Jets or the Giants or the Texans. Sorry, Texan fans. So it's the Vikings in 2013. So we're talking about, 9 years, almost a decade. It still makes us hype for it. I don't care how he needs to draft the sauce. Hey, I'm all about the sauce. I want all the smoke and I want all the sauce. Pause. Kara said I've had sauce fall to us a few times when I've mocked. Send that. First live I've been in. Hey, shout out to you, my guy. Look, we go live and we do regular, videos, 10 to 15 minute long videos on certain topics, news, rumors, opinions, breakdowns, all that good stuff. We do the play-by-plays when the season's on for the Eagles. We also do the Sixers. Hit the subscribe button, bro. We on the road to 18K. Shout out to Free Man Luma with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you, my guy. Carson Strong, second round. Got this feeling. Could you imagine, right? So the first round's the first round. The Eagles go with the first round, and let's say we use 2 picks, and I don't know what we do, right? But say we have a really slamming first round. Pause. And you're like, wow, our defense is about to be great. And then the second round, one of these quarterbacks fall, whether it's I don't think Pickett or Corral will fall. I think if anybody falls, it's Willis and Carson Strong. Now, if you take a quarterback in the second round, it could be that you're giving up on Minshew, but that'd be crazy to do. That'd be crazy. Hey, I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman. If we get everything that our hearts desire in the first round, I don't know. Jalen will welcome the competition. Philly Mike, I'm sure Devontae was aware of the Jalen struggles. It reminds me of the Odell and Baker situation. Every time he overthrows or don't throw, the body language of Smith is self-explanatory. Yeah, listen, I can't front, right? A couple times Devontae showed the frustration of Jalen Hurts being not the experienced passer that, could make his game flourish. However, they do got a close connection. And sometimes, Jalen's a person who's hard on himself. So I don't think it was as bad as people make it out to seem throughout the whole season. I think the Giants game, when he didn't get a target from Hurts and Sirianni, he showed the frustration in the Giants game, and he showed the frustration in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, but that's a playoff game, right? You want your best guys to be hyping in a moment, right? Chargers game, didn't get many targets. He didn't really get mad. Washington against the Raiders, I think he kept his composure pretty good for being such a young player who again, is coming off a Heisman. It's been 20 years. And this time I'm right about the whole 20 years since a wide receiver won a Heisman. So, he went from all that success to, being able to break Deshaun Jackson's rookie receiving yards. But it's still like, bro, what could have been? What could have been? And, depending on if Jalen Hurts works out or not, we're going to see how he improves. My master plans. Okay, see Teal with the master plan. Sign Marcus Williams, safety, and Mike Gesicki, tight end from the Dolphins. Sign Mike Williams or trade for Ridley. Draft Devin Lloyd and Sauce, the best player available at 19. Look for a power back in the draft. I ain't mad at that master plan at all. I ain't mad at it. It got me my free agent wide receiver. I mean, you got Gesicki. I don't know what he'll cost. He's not a top tier tight end. I mean, he had a couple breakout games. If you can get Lloyd and Saul, sign me up for that. And I do like the power back because we need a Jordan Howard type. But I'm not sure we need Jordan Howard anymore. I know he's only 26 years old, but the guy can't stop getting stingers. And he's allergic to bees. Hydra said, I don't want quarterback Back. I could have sworn I'm back. Let's go. Here we go. Let me know. Let me know if we're good. Your wife got mad you're streaming too long and called the cable company. Oh, hey, she don't got to do that. She could just click the button. It's been an hour and 50 minutes. It's been an hour and 50 minutes, though. The wife is the hey. Whoa. It's been wait. How'd it go by that fast? Hey, when you're talking about the draft. But yeah, that reminds me now that we're gonna have to end the stream in a little bit. Yeah. I don't even live there. I don't even live close to a Walmart. You know what I mean? Hurts like 6'1". He's not that small. I agree with you. Quarterback, though, a lot of quarterbacks be a little bit taller than that, though. Shout out to my man Philly Talk. No matter how no matter how crappy work is, my guy Philly Talk out here spitting that neutral, non-biased Philly Talk. Much respect. Hey, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate it. Look, something just happened, right? It could be the wife. I don't know. Because it went from pretty good to now I keep seeing it buffering up the top. With that being said, we're going to have videos on. Listen, when more rumors come out close to March about who the Eagles are signing in free agency, just remember Philly Mike said, the 3 wide receivers on the screen, DJ Chark, Marcus Williams, Hassan Reddick, and last but not least, JC Jackson. We're going to talk as much draft, as much free agency, as much rooms, news and rumors. But before my Walmart Wi-Fi or my wife kicks me off, I appreciate everybody. If you haven't hit that like button, it is free. It is easy. And it don't cost a thing. And it helps the channel grow. It helps me pay for Wi-Fi. Just kidding. Look. And listen, I know most of y'all have that subscribe button hit. But don't stop at the subscribe button. You see that bell? That lets you know that I'm live. So you don't come in when I'm an hour and 50 minutes in. You come in when I'm 10 minutes in, 3 minutes in. And plus, when I drop that stuff throughout the week, 10 to 15 minutes, you already know. Until next time, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Much love. Eagle Nation, y'all know y'all football best fan base in the world. We out. And I'm not phrasing. We out this time. Peace.